Hello, my name is Justin Sotelo, and in this video I will be providing you with some general information, kind of an overview of a portion of the Eastern Sierra region in California. And this video is specifically for photography or for photographic purposes. So I'll kind of just give you a general lay of the land, point out some locations that I have visited, and then show you examples of photographs that I've taken in some of these locations. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you is just a map here of a portion of that region. And if you're from Northern California or like Sacramento, like I am, more than likely you'll be accessing this area via Highway 395. So coming south, maybe making your way east and then coming down 395. Okay, so you'll see here at the top of my map, this is Highway 395. So coming down south through Bridgeport. And the first thing I wanted to point out is Bodie here. So this might be, it's a state historic park. It's a location you may want to visit maybe on your way down or on your way out. And I'll show you some examples of, or I'll tell you what Bodie is and kind of show you some examples of some photographs that I've taken there. From there, again, just making your way south down 395, you're going to get into near Mono Lake. A lot of people, if you're really exploring the Mono Lake area, a lot of people, or at least I have stayed in this small town of Lee Vining. So there are some lodging options there. Not a lot. A lot of these towns are small towns. But again, if you're taking the time to really explore this area, Mono Lake, Lee Vining is a town you might want to consider for lodging. Okay, so all of the items or the locations here in red text are areas that I'm going to just touch on briefly and kind of show you some examples of photographs that I've taken in these areas. Okay, so Lundy Lake, if you make your way further down south, further south on 395, you'll come across Highway 120, which is kind of leads into the entrance, eastern entrance to Yosemite, okay, via Tioga Pass, okay. If you have limited time to visit Mono Lake, a couple of areas that you probably definitely want to check out would be the South Tufa area or Navy Beach, okay, and those are going to be along the south area of the lake, okay, and again I'll show you some examples of photographs that I've taken in that area. Moving south again down 395, this little loop right here is what's known as June Lake Loop. Okay, so a lot of options here in this area where I've labeled Parker Lake. There are a few hiking options, some trails. There's Parker Lake, there's Walker Lake, and I'll show you some examples of photographs taken there. Along this loop, I would say the major lakes along this loop are these four right here: June Lake, Gull Lake, Silver Lake, and Grant Lake. Okay. And again, just coming down 395, you will pass Mammoth Lakes. A lot of, I think, photographic options here. I'm not going to really touch on this area. I've explored this area a little bit, but I'm not going to provide examples in this video of this area, okay? Further down 395, I'm going to talk a little bit about Hot Creek Geologic Site, Convict Lake, McGee Creek, and Crowley Lake. Okay, so I will provide you with this map so you can reference it. Again, this is just my kind of personal experience in this area, and then I'll provide you with some examples of photographs I've taken. Okay, I'm going to jump over to a Word document that I have here, and I have a list of galleries here, and they They are labeled with links to these specific galleries. So I'll provide you with this list and with these links so you can kind of get a better look at photographs that I've taken in this area. And then I also have just a list of the locations that I just referenced on the map. Okay, so Bodie, Convict Lake, Crowley Lake, Hot Creek Geologic Site, etc., and just links to, if you were to search these locations online, these are probably like one of the first sites that come up when you do a search, but I encourage you to research these areas as much as possible, just to have a better understanding of those locations, what they offer, and that sort of thing. Okay, so let's see here. So I'll jump back to my map, and I'll just kind of walk my way through as if I were driving down this area, okay, or driving down 395 towards this area. So as I mentioned, as you're coming down, one location that you could consider visiting is Bodie. Okay, so it's Bodie State Historic Park. I've got a link here that'll kind of tell you more about that location. Just brief, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but Bodie is basically a ghost town. It was kind of thriving during the gold rush area in the late 1800s. I'm going to leave it at that. You can research the area some more. But I have a link here to some photographs that I've taken of that area. This gallery has a variety of things here. So there's some photographs from Bodie, Mono Lake, June Lake Loop, Tenaya Lake, which is in Yosemite. But just to give you an example of what to expect from Bodie, you're going to see structures. Like I said, it's considered a quote-unquote ghost town. So you're going to see images like this, or structures like this, etc. So just to kind of give you a sense of what you would see at Bodie, that sort of thing. Okay. Like I said, this gallery has a variety of images, and I'm just going to kind of keep this brief, kind of high level. Working your way down 395, you'll eventually come to Mono Lake. One thing I wanted to point out on the north side of Mono Lake, and I haven't been to this area here, it's called Black Point. From my research, I understand that it's about a 1.8 mile hike to get to kind of these slot canyons on the north side of the lake. It's a location that I plan to visit the next time I'm in the area. But if you are in this area, maybe take a look, do some research, and see if it's something that interests you. Okay, I'm going to get to some images of Mono Lake, but first, as I'm coming down south on 395, I'm going to talk a little bit about Lundy Lake. And along 395, you'll find just a number of kind of hidden gems right off of the highway, and Lundy Lake just happens to be one of them. Okay, just these small lakes that kind of lead into the to the Sierra Nevada mountains, and a lot of times you'll find just some canyons basically leading into the mountains, and I think Lundy Lake is an example of that. Okay, I was there recently, just last month, and in that area, I kind of I was there kind of late in the morning, so the lighting conditions weren't what I was hoping for, but so I kind of took a different approach in this area, and I kind of focused on just the fall colors and doing kind of some macro photographs. So that's what this gallery consists of, just some images of the foliage and the fall colors kind of doing their thing here. Okay. So that's that gallery. Coming into Mono Lake, like I said, if you have a limited amount of time there, I think the maybe the main areas you want to take a look at are South Tufa area and Navy Beach. And let me jump back to my Word document here just to give you some examples of what you might see there. Let's see here. Okay, we got Mono Lake. Let me see what's in this gallery. Okay, so for example, this image is taken at the South Tufa area. This was taken at sunrise. Okay, so you're going to see a lot of these interesting rock formations in the lake and around the lake. Okay, let's see. Let me show you some more examples here. Let's see, Mono Lake. Okay, another example. So these are just taken. This is probably between the South Tufa area and Navy Beach. Just kind of walking along the beach area. And let's see if I have another example here. Let me jump back to another gallery. Okay. Again, this is the South Tufa area. This was taken at sunset, I believe. This was back in 2018. And a lot of these images were probably taken around Mono Lake. This one, definitely. This one here. This one taken closer to the Navy Beach area. So again, you're going to see a lot of these interesting rock formations in the lake and around the lake. Okay. Another example of an image taken at sunset, and this is the South Tufa area. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so going back to my map, we've got, if you have more time, you could potentially drive into Yosemite, okay? And this is the eastern entrance. So off of 395, you could take Highway 20 west via Tioga Pass. You'll enter the park and then get into the park here. Okay, I think I have some sample images from the Tioga Pass area region. Okay, so it's just a set of images that I converted to black and white. You can see here that I was there in October of 2023. You know, I had some kind of cloudy conditions, a little bit of snow on the mountains. Just kind of some examples of what you might see in that area. Okay. Making my way down 395, kind of approaching, again, the June Lake Loop. I'll point out Parker Lake, a very beautiful and scenic lake. However, it is a bit of a hike. If I remember correctly, it might be about maybe a two plus mile hike in, and then, you know, each way basically. So in total, you might be looking at 4 to 5 miles of hiking. If you're there in the winter time, you know, it might not be the best conditions to hike, but definitely a hike you might want to consider if you like hiking, you know, in the summer months perhaps, or the spring. But let me see here. Let me jump back to my galleries, and just to give you a visual of what that lake looks like. I thought I had a gallery here. Parker. Okay, so Parker is included in this gallery. Okay, so this is what Parker Lake looks like. And again, like I said, I think it's a 2-mile hike in. I would consider it a moderate hike, but again, you'll want to check the conditions or consider the conditions if you are considering to do a moderate hike or a longer than usual hike. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go back to my map. Okay, so next I'll talk about the June Lake Loop. And again, I think, the 4 main lakes to perhaps photograph in this loop are June Lake, Gull Lake, Silver Lake, and Grant Lake. And let me give you some examples of photographs that I've taken there. Let's see here. We've got, okay, June Lake Loop. Let's look at this one. Okay, so I've shown you this gallery already. This has a variety of images in it. Maybe I want to show you another one. Let me see here. Okay, June Lake Loop right here. This is probably a better example. So these were taken, again, October of last year. Was there during the, to capture kind of the fall colors. And with these, I was doing maybe some more creative stuff, long exposure, doing, I don't know what my shutter speed was, maybe, half a second or thereabouts, and just kind of, tilting the camera up and down to kind of get this sort of effect, or maybe zooming in and out to get this sort of effect. So these were taken in the June Lake Loop. Here's another gallery here, June Lake Loop. You already saw that one. Okay, this was the one I meant to click on. Okay, so these were taken mostly at sunrise or right after sunrise. So this is Silver Lake. Again, one of the main lakes that you're going to see, and a lot of these examples are of locations that have relatively easy access, that are basically just like right off of the road or the highway, with the exception of Walker Lake that I just talked about, which was about a 2-mile hike to the lake. But a lot of these photographs were taken just basically right from the road. Okay, this is Silver Lake at sunrise. Silver Lake. Okay, all of these are Silver Lake. This is June Lake at sunset. Again, Silver Lake here. Okay. Okay, so a lot of photographic options just in this small area right here, June Lake Loop. So I would definitely encourage you to just really fully explore that area. Okay, I'm gonna make my way further down Highway 395. I mentioned Mammoth Lakes. I'm not going to talk about that area, but definitely, if you have the time, another area to explore. But I'm going to keep making my way down Highway 395. I'm going to talk about Convict Lake a bit, McGee Creek, Hut Creek Geologic Site, Crowley Lake. And I think for this, as you're planning your your trip to this area, I would just try to, get as much as you can get in a given period of time. Okay, so with my last trip here with my colleague, one morning we just really focused on this area. Okay, so we saw Hut Creek Geologic Site at sunrise. And then once that passed, we just kind of quickly made our way down, back to 395. We didn't see Convict Lake with that particular trip, but we did explore McGee Creek, and then we later made it over to Crowley Lake. Okay, so we were able to just kind of maximize our time and see as much as possible during that morning. Okay, let me jump back to my galleries here. Okay, so this was taken in October of 2024. So you're going to see examples of photographs taken at Hot Creek Geologic Site, McGee Creek, and Crowley Lake. More specifically, we went to the Crowley Lake Columns, which is on the south area of the lake, and just some interesting rock formations there. And I'm providing a link here to kind of a news story about that area, and it gives kind of some more information about the geology about that area. Okay, so really interesting. But here's my gallery from this area. So again, this is Hot Creek Geologic Site. These first couple of images here. These are the columns, the Crowley Lake columns. Okay, really interesting rock formations. And you should check out that link that I just referenced. These were taken along the creek, McGee Creek. This one here, as well as this one. Again, this was in the morning, just as the sun was kind of coming over the mountain. And a lot of the same images. I'm just kind of giving them different post-processing treatments, just for variety. This was McGee Creek, just kind of capturing the fall colors in that area. Okay, so that's that gallery. Let's see here. Jump back to my map. Okay, Convict Lake, I don't have a lot of examples here, but it's definitely a lake I think that you want to check out if you've never been there. Very beautiful lake, really kind of easy access to getting some great photographs. This lake is also pretty popular with fishing, if that's something of interest to you. Let's see if I have an example of an image from Convict Lake. Looks like I might in this gallery. Nope. Let me jump back. Okay, maybe this one here. Yeah, I have a couple here. So this was Convict Lake. This was last year, 2023. This was taken at sunset or right after sunset. I did a little bit of cheating here. I did a sky replacement just to kind of make the sky a little more interesting. What was happening at that time wasn't that exciting, so this is an example of a sky replacement in Photoshop. I think I have a black and white version of that same image here as well. Again, just to try a different treatment to the same image. Okay. So I think that's about it. I think that's all I'm going to cover. I wanted to keep this really brief and just kind of have a high-level overview of the area and to provide you with some photographic examples of what you would see if you were to visit this area of California. I will be providing you with all of my galleries here, links to my galleries, just so you can kind of take a closer look at the images. And I will also provide you with this list of the locations that I've just talked about. Again, I encourage you to do more research, or as much research as possible. These are just simple links to some of these locations just to get started with your research. But I encourage you to dig a bit deeper just to have a better understanding of what these locations offer, that sort of thing. Okay, so that's it for now. Good luck. Hope you enjoy your visit of the area, and have fun. Again, my name is Justin Sotelo, and thank you for listening to this video.